Good morning. I am really tired, but I wanted to get to this review of, it's new to me anyway. I don't know if it's new to everybody, but white chocolate mocha. It's what I usually get when I actually go to Starbucks, and I haven't been there in a while. I usually get the frozen one. So at least I'll be able to tell whether it tastes the same as what they have there. But first I want to say, I've been struggling with a lot of depression since my mom passed, which I'm sure, loss of any kind, everyone can understand. And, the two things that have been helping me is staying in the Word, reading my Bible, praying, is the biggest thing, because it's like you don't want to do it, but then when you do it, you feel better. And it's like, and then you don't want to do it, and it's like a roundabout cycle. And it's the same thing about a little bit of exercise. And I'm not talking about a huge amount, but get on the elliptical for 5 minutes. Listen to a good song. Find the best song that makes you really want to dance and jump on there. And after those 5 minutes, you might want to push to 10. And if not, get off. But it'll release those endorphins. And you'll start to feel it if you do it, on a regular basis. So it's something I got to get back into. Try to eat healthier. I switched my detergent, which I already talked about. I still have to do a review of that because I absolutely love it. And my my skin, my camera is not the best, but I don't have any breakouts. And this is not a filter. Like I said, I don't know what's wrong with my cell phone camera. It's like once it gets to a certain age, it stops wanting to. I think I get the best ones in the car for some reason. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know. But anyway, back to the review. So I haven't opened this yet, but I'm going to shake it up. I am the most awkward in these videos, so it's not like I am miserable and, I don't know. I'm a very shy person in real life, and it makes it really hard to do things like this, but I'm trying to get used to it. So I got my cup that I got, I think for Christmas. I can't remember. But gotta love Stitch. Addicted to caffeine. So I'm going to try it. Let's see. I can taste the mocha. It does taste pretty similar to what they have in the store. Of course, I get it frozen and I get an extra shot of espresso. So, but it is good. It's very subtle, but not too strong, very sweet. Let's see what the sugar content is. There's a lot of sugar in this one. That's why I got to start making my own eventually, because I like to cut back on some of the sugar. 34 total sugars and 22 added sugars. So, and that is for 12 ounces. So, but I usually mix it with my espresso anyway to give it a little more flavor, because at Dunkin' Donuts, it can get pricey after a while. I've noticed that their prices seem to be a little higher than Starbucks. I just don't have a Starbucks besides the one in Target, and the one in Target, they never seem to make it right. So I don't like going there. That's close enough for me to feel like I want to go. Like I want to go across the street and get a coffee in the morning. I don't feel like driving all the way up the highway. But their prices get to be a little much. So, and then with added, like you get almond milk, it's $1. You get less ice, it's 50 cents. You get extra flavor shots, it's 50 cents or 30 cents or whatever for flavor shots. And it's like after, you get up to almost $10. This is Dunkin' Donuts, and they don't even have all the flavors that Starbucks has. So it's kind of like ridiculous. But I still love them. Still good coffee. Tastes good. But I usually go and just get like espresso. And if you go into the settings on your app, you can get it to like 3 in 1 cup, rather than having 3 separate cups, because that, gets really hard when you're trying to carry that home with other coffees. And then I take it home, have my own almond milk, my own creamer, my own cold foam. Make your own. It saves a tremendous amount of money just buying the espresso. Eventually, I do want to get an espresso maker, because I do have coffee espresso, but it just doesn't seem to brew like an espresso maker would. So Eventually, I would like to look into one of them because that'd be great just to do it at home. Not to mention, it's less acidic. I like Life Boost. That's a really good coffee for if you have stomach issues. But it's a convenience of just going and getting it, and, you know, and again, it not brewing up as strong. I have to figure out. I have a French press, and it brews nicely. I just don't feel like it's strong enough. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe, you know, you guys have an idea about that and can leave it in the comments. Exactly, you know, how to brew the best espresso when you buy espresso beans and you grind them yourself. So I just want to also say that I hope you all have a good morning, and if you need any prayers, please leave them in the comments. I know these videos are pretty short lately, but like I said, I'm grieving, so it's like ups and downs, and I'm trying to stay focused. And I do want to mention that I've had several dreams before and after my mom passed, so I do have the comfort of knowing that she is with the Lord. I had a dream that my aunt, who had already passed a few weeks before she passed, my mom, that she came and she said, I want to hug her. And she wrapped her up like a baby. And the thing is, I just prayed the day before. I said, in my head, and that's what I say to people, pray in your head, because the only person that can hear you is God. If you believe in, you know, all this other stuff, and pray in your head, because the only person that can hear you is your creator, not the enemy, not anyone else. Just do it and watch what happens. So I prayed in my head and I said, I want to know if my mom is saved, because I'm talking a lot about Jesus and I've been praying with her and all that. And that dream, my aunt grabbed her and wrapped her up like a baby and hugged her. And I'm like, well, being a baby again is born again in the Bible. And so that was very, very nice. And then my daughter had a dream after that she was sitting in her chair and she says, don't cry. I'm in the safest place ever. And she said that she just could feel her presence. And she just knew. So I know we're not supposed to talk to the dead. The dead can't hear you and all, but God does give you messages, I believe, that give you comfort in the storm. That's why, you know, you really shouldn't go to mediums or anything like that, because basically the enemy can hear you, hear everything you're saying too. So they know everything about you. So of course they can tell you, oh, your mother had a red bow in her hair at the age of 5. Enemy knows too. Just got to be very careful with that. You can talk to God about it, and he will give you comfort, breadcrumbs, and love from your loved ones that are with him. So, don't be sad. You will see them again. That's the biggest part about being saved, is you will see them again. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I got 2 babies up there. I got some grandchildren up there. I have, my mom, I have siblings. My grandma had some kids that she had lost as well. So, aunt, cousin, just have a lot of people that I just cannot wait to see one day. But I know what they're seeing is so beautiful. It's beyond what we can even imagine here. And I look forward to that. And even if you aren't sure about it, like I said, pray in your head. Ask God to reveal himself to you. Ask God to help you in your storm. Pray for a miracle. Don't be afraid to pray for a full-on miracle. I can't guarantee that it'll happen. It's in God's hands. You pray for God's will. But it can. Like my son, I spoke in a previous video of how he saved his life. Having the flu, strep, going septic, having your kidneys shut down, to only being in ICU for 2 days and being in a regular room for 1 and coming home. He was sitting up playing with Legos, and the specialists came in and they were like, we just had to see it for themselves. That was their exact words. And I said, a lot of people are praying for him. And people are so afraid. I don't know why they're afraid to pray. Maybe it's because they're afraid that they won't get, their prayer answered. And that is true. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes it's immediate. Like that prayer. When I was in the hospital, I was terrified. But then I looked at my husband and I said, he's going to be okay. I knew it. I felt it. God was telling me he was going to be okay. And they were talking about doing a spinal tap. And when they came in the room, he's just staring and he's not responding, and he's only 5, and it's really scary. And then all of a sudden he turns to me and he jumps across the bed into my arms and says, "I love you, Mommy." And they started crying, and then they took it off the board. No spinal tap, because obviously it wasn't meningitis, because they weren't sure at the time what it was. But looking back, it's just a miracle. And if you don't get that miracle, it's nothing, to do with your prayer life or anything like that. But prayer is good. It just means that God has other plans for you, and don't let it destroy you. Don't let the enemy destroy you. Because in the end, the most important thing is being saved, being with God, being with your loved ones again. It's not worth anything this world has to offer for you. Nothing is worth it. I've seen prayers answered 8 years later. It's just, and then I was so fed up, like, this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And it did. Slowly but surely, everything broke apart. And eventually, when I'm ready, I will talk about that, because that was a big one. I look forward to talking to it, because I think it's a huge testimony that people need to hear. But just watching my loved ones get saved is just amazing. And even my mother, it was hard watching her, but I believe that it was meant to happen for her to be saved, because she had a lot of struggles with anger. And and I talked to her about that, and not to hate and all that. And it wasn't her fault. She had a lot of mental illness. So I can't completely blame it on her. She had a lot of undiagnosed medical issues as well, or untreated, that made her the way she was. But she got saved, and she turned her life around, and we got closer. And there's just so much. And I know I'm just going on and making this video longer. I said it would be short, but people are so afraid and so angry, and they get angry when you say, "I'll pray for you," or pray. But what does it hurt to get on your, knees, or just sitting in the chair right now, say, "God, help me. God, reveal yourself to me. My heart hurts. My loved one is struggling with addiction. My loved one is struggling with this." I mean, it won't hurt anything to do that. And then when it happens, and you see it, and you see, like, you step back and you're like, the puzzle pieces of God did this, God took this person out of their life, God did this, God moved this, God changed this, God put this person in their life to save them. And it's nothing that you can do. You can't force people to change or be saved. You can't force people to want to be with God, but you can pray for them. And that's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid, and don't ever think, "Oh, that they'll never be saved." God can do anything. God can take the worst of the worst and save them. So don't hesitate. Don't give up because things aren't going your way. Maybe those things didn't go your way because there's people that were going to hurt you, or people that didn't love you, didn't care about you, that God just moved out of your life. Maybe there's a reason you didn't get that job. Maybe there's a reason why you lost that house. Maybe it wasn't safe. Maybe something would have happened. Maybe there's a reason why you're late to work, or late to take the kids to school. All of a sudden you lose your keys or your phone, and all of a sudden, and then there's an accident up the street, and you're like, "Oh, God stopped me from that." So it's not always bad, and we might not know it right away, but eventually God will reveal why we went through what we went through. So, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have my struggles, and I miss my mom like crazy, and I just wish I could hear her voice again, but I will see her again, So anyway, I hope you have a blessed day. Enjoy some coffee. If you have any coffee places or types of coffee that you drink that are good for gastritis or anything like that don't tear up your stomach, feel free to share in the comments. If there's any questions you have for me, feel free to share them as well. And I will talk to you later.